Hello, in this video presented by RSM Innovation, I'm going to show you how to change the automatic transmission fluid in a Subaru. It's fairly easy. This was definitely one of the easier cars to change the fluid in, and the filter as well. You don't need a lot of tools. 17mm wrench to get the drain plug off. I usually use a mallet to help me with that. I'll put it on and help tap it off just to break it loose. Sometimes it's hard to get a lot of leverage underneath the car. You'll need a transmission funnel, something that's somewhat flexible or is a longer neck in order to be able to fill the transmission back up once you empty it. A drain pan to empty the fluid into. I prefer using Subaru specific transmission fluid, though you can use the Mercon Dextron. A new oil filter. One of the nice things about these Subaru oil filters is the spin-on filter, very similar to you'd have in a, as you'd see as an oil filter. So when I buy it in the store, one suggestion I would make is actually mark on it transmission filter. That way you don't accidentally confuse any of them. It's nice also to have some paper towels for if you make a little bit of a mess, and then you'll also need. That's pretty much it. So the first things to do is we're going to go under the car, we're going to drain the transmission, and then we'll take the filter off. We'll put the transmission drain plug back in, put the new filter on, and then we'll fill it up, and I'll show you how to do that. Alright, here we are underneath the car. You can see the drain plug, which is straight in front of my finger there. It's about 17mm drain plug, and then above it, that white, well, looks like an oil filter. That's a transmission filter. So it's fairly easy to reach from the driver's side. Just get underneath the car, and like I said, 17mm wrench, and then we'll unscrew this oil filter up here and drain them into the pan. All right, just like we would an oil filter. Here's the transmission filter. We're going to take a little bit of oil and we're just going to wet the O-ring around it and that'll help it seal up. I'm going to do this as it's draining off right now, and then I'm almost done. Alright, one of the tricks I've learned over the years to estimate how much oil to put back in, I have my used oil here and I have an empty jug of motor oil right there. Now the nice thing about it is it's going to be difficult to see, but on the side is a scale. I'm going to pour the used oil in to that jug, and then I'll know approximately how much I should put back in the car, and that should, assuming that I started off with a properly filled transmission, that should give me a good estimate of how much I need to put back. Alright, so now I've estimated I have just over 3 quarts of oil that I need to pour back in. So where do we pour it in from? Right into the transmission dipstick. So here's the engine. I'm standing on the driver's side. Now here's the master cylinder right here. Just behind these 2 heater hoses is the dipstick tube, and it might be difficult to see. That's a yellow top. There, I think you can see it right there. And this pulls out, and then we'll use our transmission filter or funnel to pour the fluid right back in there. And again, it'll be about 3 quarts, and then I'll check the fluid level after I'm done. Alright, I'm letting the rest of the fluid drain into the transmission here. I took a little over 3 quarts, and this may vary per car, per how warm or cold the transmission is. Now the next step would be, once I pull this out, I'm going to put the dipstick back in. I'm going to start the car, shift through all the gears, and that'll make sure that the fluid gets circulated through the transmission properly. Do that a couple times. So start in park, go all the way down to 3 or low, whatever your setting is, and then back up to park again and go up and down a few times. Then once you're done with that, check the manual, see how to properly check the fluid level. Just want to verify that your fluid level is proper. If it's too full, you can drain some. You can pull some with maybe a little hand pump out of the dipstick tube. It's a little difficult to just get a little bit of fluid by opening up the drain plug, but you could try that as well. If it's not enough, just add a little bit more. And do this every 30,000 miles or so, and it should keep your transmission running pretty smoothly. This is what they call a pan drain. So you're just draining the transmission pan. You're not doing an actual flush. And this is probably preferred as long as you do it regularly. This is a good way to go. All right, and I hope this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments. Please subscribe. And again, this was presented by RSM Innovation, and I will be posting more videos soon. Thank you. Bye.